So the secret is out of the bag. Let me give you a little history and background. My name is Fabian Villarreal, aka the Candyman, and I hope y'all enjoyed Inside the Mind of the Candyman, where we were actually painting Ray Canales' #1 contender, Platinum Choice. After we finished painting and put it all back together, we actually took it to Odessa to qualify. No one got to see the belly, the motor, the hydraulics, or the frame. That was intentional, that was strategic. Let me let you in on something. You can't beat what you can't see. Let me say that again. You can't beat what you can't see. As a builder, I myself and many others, we can take things and make them better. Or we can just take the piece of junk that you got and build you something to make it look nicer. Now, these builders can take things, make them better. Let me give you some examples. Albert D'Alba, Chris Rourke, Johnny Salters. Oh my gosh, that guy's awesome. Chino, Manuel Cabela, Fabian, the Candyman, myself. Mondo from Crazy Cutting in Arizona. These guys can take what you have and make things better. Now, I heard there was about 5 to 10 cars going for Car of the Year this year, which I thought is pretty amazing. So let me give you some insight. Danny D, years ago, said, if you want to win, attack the areas that nobody attacks. And I'm like, well, what do you mean, Danny? I don't understand. He goes, the suspension. Nobody messes with the suspension. I'm like, well, sheesh, if that's the case, let's start there. So, with that being said, let me let you see in on some of the things you didn't see. Or, let me show you some of the things that we did. Number one, you'll look at the rear quarter panels, the rear wheel well molding, and what you'll notice is that the fender skirts, they don't look like teardrop fender skirts. They actually like that from a 70s Impala. Something different. You wouldn't notice this until I told you. Now, the hydraulics, if you've seen the motor, then you've seen the hydraulics. Literally. If you've seen the motor, you've seen the hydraulics. Because we drew out, blueprinted, and made the motor, made the hydraulics look like the motor. So when you open the trunk, you're like, oh my God, the motor's in here. Oh, that's awesome, pretty cool. I thought it was pretty cool, but hey, what do I know? The belly was done completely smoothed out the belly. It was really amazing. The only other belly I've seen something like that was back in '96 when Chito Sanchez had his 64 and Louis Morales from L&M Customs built it. And they did a really good job, and we just loved those guys, so that was pretty cool. So anyway, the belly looks really smooth and real similar to Chito's car, so that's pretty cool. The back part of it, like where the trunk is, you know, we could have sheet metaled it, kind of like D'Alba's car. He sheet metaled it, made it all smooth. That's cool. But we went ahead and went the extra mile, and we put the deck lid or the skin of a deck lid underneath the car. So when you look underneath, it looks like the trunk is underneath there, because it has the body moldings. Now it took 4, not 2, it took 4 fender wells to make the 2 fender wells on the front of the car. We actually took some plates, real similar to like that on Chris Rourke's 58, that black one, those chrome plates on the rocker panel, and countersunk them in there. Dude, they just look really cool, so thanks, we took that idea from you, buddy. Anyway, the firewall was taken and we shaved it for one. We actually had to countersink it like 4 inches because it took that big block 427 turbojet mystery motor in there. And I can go into the mystery motor later, but anyway. The alien intake, which is the air breather on top, you know, these people wanted like $14,000 for this alien intake because it was all, you know, like electronic ignition and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. We weren't even trying that. I just liked the way it looked. So we just made one, and it sucks up the air from the very bottom behind the radiator, so it's an air breather. but you know, it's an 8-inch intake as well. Now, it took 3 Impala interior dashes to make the one we have, because we have it all the way across. There's electronics all the way across. It looks really nice. The door panels is a little bit more modern. We went and made the door panels real similar to like that of a BMW, like a 5 Series BMW, which I thought was pretty cool. The back seat is raked in a 45, not just boom, bam, but like this way, like a lazy boy. It's really, really comfortable. The back seats are. The 2 center consoles, because the one is a floating console, and it's not that we're trying to copy Joe Ray's Eldorado, because actually when we were making it, we thought they were flying drones because they took our idea. Because we saw it like, what the heck, this stuff took our ideas? But hey, you know, it is what it is. What can I say? The suicide doors, which is pretty common for lowriders, and we made those really like obvious because, you know, suicide doors are pretty obvious. My dad did those, and those things work so great. I mean, you just like, and it just clicks, closes really well, and then all the hardware is not here on the side. It's at the bottom where nobody can really see. And it's really small, so that really was pretty cool. The floors were shaven smooth, nice and flat, smooth, has a little design to it. The back bumpers are like that of maybe like a Dodge Ram truck, where the exhaust actually comes through the bumper, and the front bumper has 3 grills in it. Now, we took the 63 grill and we made a Phantom grill, just like that from Summer Madness, from that lifestyle car from Summer Madness. Oh my gosh, that grill I love that grill. So anyway, we took what he had and then we added more to the front bumper. As you can see, our suspension looks massive. I mean, check that out. I know we haven't chrome plated it yet, but you'll notice that, you know, they really look nice. They go both ways. I mean, they look really clean. And the fact that I built them myself, I mean, I'm really proud of them, and they really look nice. Now, the engine cradle itself was done by Scott's Hot Rods. He took care of the engine cradle and did that and made it look really nice. Another thing you'll notice is these particular little areas right here. A block goes right here that holds the sway bar. These right here, we did those as extras because, you know, it really sucks when you're in the trailer and you're trying to hook up to lock the car down. But with these, you just hook, boom, lock the car down, you're good to go. You don't have to crawl underneath the car, nothing. These fluted little spots right here, or let's see, hold on. These fluted little pieces right here were also done by Chris, our machinist. He made those just to look cool. Now, as we go along, you'll notice we added some steel under here just to make the frame a little bit nicer. You'll see that these brackets right there, these custom-made brackets are the ones that will be holding the 3-inch exhaust. And then we added more steel back here. They're like, why did you add more steel? Well, let me tell you why. At the time when we were building this car, we were trying to go up against Chris Rourke's 58, the 3-time world champion 58. His car was such a good car to look at. We really enjoyed watching that car and the way he built it, that we were on a mission to build a car that could beat his. Whether or not we beat his or not, or can beat his or not, no one really knows. But maybe one day we'll do one of those Rocky fights where nobody knows. We just kind of hide in the back and let the judges go at it. But anyway, we love Chris and his car, and we really enjoyed watching his car do his thing. So anyway, guys, like I said, this is the lowrider car frame that we're building, and the suspension. It's got a full different suspension in the front. It's got a full different suspension in the back. It's something you've probably never seen before. And we believe it's going to be a really good contender for Lowrider Car of the Year. Now, that's our buddy, Ice. He's out here handling the business on this video. And here is the Lowrider Car of the Year that we'll be building. They're like, oh, you're not even ready. Oh, bro, we're ready. We're fixing to start painting. So we took the dash and made it super long all the way across. All the way across. And then we built a floating console with the waterfalls in the very center. That's what we call it. It was waterfalls. And then we put these really cool door handles. You know, just a little something. After that, we countersunk these pieces. And then we built this grill, like a phantom grill, like the one that was on Summer Madness. That was a really nice grill that we put there, that they put there. So we put these 63 Impala fender wells on the inside and fenders on the inside as well. And then we turn around and followed this body line and took it all the way that way and up across there. I mean, we could have put a flat piece of sheet metal, but why would we do that when we can add some body lines and give it some character? So, oh, maybe you didn't notice, but it does have suicide doors. And I know it's a little dusty and dirty in here, but we're not done. We're still working on it. And right now, it's still October. And it being October, we still have another 5-8 months to work on this car and get it ready. These pieces in here were done by Ghost. That's me, the Candyman, and that's my logo. If you have any questions, you can call me at 361-658-2001. We've been working on the car for the past couple of years. People ask, well, why is it taking so long? Well, let me give you a quick reason why. The reason why it was taking so long was because the owner is not a wealthy man. I built cars for wealthy men. That particular car went on to become Lowrider Car of the Year. But this guy actually works for a living, just like me. And his money doesn't come every day. His money comes once a month, just like a check, like the rest of us. So he was building a house, a wife in school, kids in baseball. He had bills just like everybody else. But he wanted to build this car, and I wanted to help him. And us putting our minds together and our heads together, we built this car, and we're getting it done. It's just taking a little longer. He built a house. We had to stop working on the car. He was doing the baseball thing with his kids. We had to stop working on the car. Wife was going to school. Can't build the car and pay for school. You know, bro, it is what it is. And then I had this terrible triple bypass, and I was down for like 2.5 months. Now here's the cool part. While all the parts were being chrome plated and engraved, I had this triple bypass, and I was like out for like 2.5 months. As soon as I could go back to work, this is the way God works. All the chrome was done, and Ray Canales, the owner, says, hey, if you're feeling better, you can jump back on the car. Well, sheesh, I just came off a 2.5 month leave. I'm ready to work on the car again. I need to get some bills paid. So yeah, it's pretty neat the way God is working. And just so you know, we're building this car not just to win Lowrider Car of the Year, because we want to, but whether we win or lose, we're already winners. This car is built and dedicated to our Lord Jesus Christ, and we're going to be putting scriptures on the car. This may be the only Bible you ever read. This may be the only Bible you ever read. So I hope it has something in there that will bless your heart. And again, my customer, Ray Canales, he's such an awesome guy. He's like, bro, whether we win or lose, we're already winners. And when you're building a car with that kind of attitude, you just want to give it your all. You want to give this guy everything you got, no matter the cost, and cut the cost so it doesn't hurt him financially, but you still get the job done. And that's what we're going to do. In 2019, we're taking this car to Las Vegas, and we're going to go up against some of the best cars in the country. The best. Even one of the cars that I built before. So, it is what it is. I hope you enjoy the video. Catch you later. God bless. Now, another thing you'll see is that the designs and graphics under the belly follow the exhaust. They just kind of follow the design of the exhaust, as well as the fuel tank that's in the back and the frame. The designs are in between. They're not crisscrossing like most of them. We actually put the belly on the frame, figured out where the designs would fit, and that they're actually visible. So when you look into the mirror, they're not crisscrossing, and it looks really nice. Now, some of y'all might understand, but it takes true craftsmen to work on cars like this. Choche de los Locos is one of those craftsmen. He did some major body work along with Loterio and a few other guys. Alvino, my buddy, took care of building this piece right here. He took care of building that right there. That was awesome. Now, Pepper took care of the cylinders. Bill from Paul Fabrication cut us out a bunch of plates out of a water jet that go right in here, and some other pieces here and there. Mike Kosmowski out of Gregley, Portland, also helped us with welding and grinding and body work and building of this car, especially doing a lot of work on that one. Now, Aldo took care of rebuilding the motor right there, and Chris, oh no, there's no Chris. Nick took care of the adjusting the rockers. Nick, the mechanic, took care of adjusting the rockers and putting the car on timing. And anyway, here's the car. And check out those washers. They've been cut, drilled, grinded, engraved, pinstriped, polished, and chrome plated. Every single one. That one, that one, that one, that one. Sheesh, there's a bunch of them. That one in there, that one back there, even the ones back here, in there, in here, what? All the ones back here. I mean, there are so many of these washers, it just blows me away, because I mean, the car's just detailed to the max. Detailed, every single thing detailed. This motor is a Chevy Big Block 427 Chevrolet motor, also known as the mystery motor, back in 1963. These motors came out and were stuck in the 63 Impala to do racing. Now, they were not given to the public, but some guys were lucky enough to get a motor just like this. Now, the 427 mystery motor made a big impact back in 1963 because it won a lot of races. These are big block Chevrolet motors, and you can tell it's a big block Chevrolet motor because the harmonic balancer was white. The exhausts were custom exhausts because nothing else will fit in between the frame and the motor, because it's such a big motor and it's a tight spot. So these particular exhausts had to be made with flanges. And as you can see right in here, that's the flange. It was a two-piece exhaust system header. Now this top piece is called an alien intake. Now I called this company because they had this particular alien intake, and I was like, dude, I want to buy one of these intakes. And they're like, I'm sorry, you have to buy everything. I'm like, I don't want everything, I just want the top. They're like, no, you got to buy the whole thing. I'm like, I can't buy the whole thing. I don't have that kind of money. So I end up making this alien intake of our own. And we added a little extra to it and added some colors to it and made it look real nice. I think it looks really cool, but what do I know? I'm just a car builder. Now, let's go to the frame. Now, the frame was cut right here. And it was cut right here. We here at Candy Customs ended up building a jig so we could put this rear suspension on it and that front suspension on it that nobody's ever seen before. If you'll notice that the frame here has a little curve to it. It kind of goes up and it goes down. See that way it curves around that way? It just kind of curves around. You know, it isn't just a straight piece of steel running straight across or just a Mustang 2 front end. If it was a Mustang 2 front end, these springs would be straight up and down. But we wanted to look like a 32 Ford hot rod in the front. As you see the frame with the curves, you'll notice that the front suspension has these one-off A-arms done by the late James Shelley out of Kansas City. He spent hours and hours and hours building these particular A-arms. And they're one-offs. Nobody's ever done them. I designed them, blueprinted them, and he made them, and he did such an excellent job. And I know he's not here to see the car finished, but I know he's up there just cheerleading us away to try to make this car win. And that, my friends, is the front suspension. Now, as we go back here, Jeff Kugel, this is a Kugel rear end. Some of y'all see the rear end, they're like, what kind of rear end's that? Is that a Corvette rear end? Is that a Jaguar rear end? No, sir, that is a Jeff Kugel rear end. Jeff Kugel designed and blueprinted this whole rear end, built it, and is really famous for what he does. It's big, it's beefy, it looks good, it's all aluminum, or most of it's aluminum. It has custom A-arms that we actually added a little color to, and if you notice, those same A-arms match those A-arms right there. The whole idea of building this car so everything matches and everything flows. And as you can see, there's a lot of engraving and chrome plating, and we had to do some little special cutouts right there just for the coilovers to work. And if you notice this big thing back here, that is a gas tank. Some of y'all are like, what the heck kind of gas tank is that? That particular gas tank was built by Rudy De Leon. He built the gas tank, and those brackets right there was done by Chris, one of our machinist guys. Now notice how the brackets and the gas tank, they just flow together. Yeah, because we designed it that way. If you notice the frame, that area doesn't belong there. That area doesn't belong there. This area doesn't belong there. That don't. That don't. These curves don't belong there. Those brackets don't belong there. That indentation right there where the plates, those engraved plates go, that don't belong there. Must I go on? Oh my gosh, this thing has so much. Those definitely don't belong there. And this big old plate that's right here that covers the radiator support doesn't belong there either. Oh, by the way, after Odessa, the car was taken to Yuma, Arizona with Mondo at Crazy Cutting, and he took everything we did and made it better. See you in Vegas.